Part 2, 2014. First of all, thank you all for being here. Tonight I'm going to introduce the staff. You can get to know them. They've been doing all the hard work while I've been hanging out a lot, so thank you in advance to them. And then of course we'll see the students. We'll see the main attraction. You get a chance to see projects, see how they work, and of course to ask questions for everything that you don't understand, which might be any number of things. So do not feel shy about asking any kind of questions. That's what it's here for. And just kind of dig into the projects and see actually what the last 6 weeks have been about. Before we begin that, I just want to give you guys some background on Blue Stamp Engineering, the program itself, the national program. I told the story last night. It's just interesting to talk about now because we're in our 4th year. So it's been humbling in a lot of ways to the program even get to this size. And as you can see, it's still somewhat small. So we're still very focused on small batch education, high quality, high intensity, but without overwhelming numbers in any location. So we did a previous night, showcase night last night. We're doing part 2 tonight. But I just want to share a quick story about the program and where we've come in the last 4 years. So we started this program in New York City. We're now in 4 cities: Denver, Houston, here as well. So those 4, and it's very humbling when we started because we actually had this idea, Dave and I, Dave Young, who some of you guys have met, but not all of you, who's my co-founder in this program. In just the fall of 2014, we decided, education needs to be more fun, number 1, and number 2, we can't be so fun that we lose the challenge, right? So can we enjoy the intensity of education was the question we posed to ourselves. And so this program ended up being our answer to that question. We've spent about 6 months after our initial concept idea came to us, hustling around New York City, trying to make every contact we could. We started off with exactly 0 contacts in the education world. Cold called, emailed, showed up at a bunch of places just trying to make contacts for about 6 months in the spring of 2011. And all that resulted after our first application submission, solicitation, and exactly 1 applicant. So it was a lot of work for 1 application. It was a really good application though. And so we kept going that spring. We tried harder, we got into more schools, and eventually we actually got to a pilot of 10 students. I now stand here before you today, having added 3 more cities, and now having 115 students nationwide. So every year we've gotten a little bit bigger, hopefully a little bit more intense, and hopefully the program has also grown accordingly. So that's the story I like to share, just to know that the students work hard, and our motivation or our passion to push you guys when things don't look good is not even because we can promise a better outcome, but just because sometimes it's just the best thing to do regardless. So I hope you guys have all experienced that in these past 6 weeks, and I've seen it firsthand, so I'm just very impressed with all of you. Your projects are amazing, but even more so, you guys and your passion, your persistence is even more amazing. So I think it'll serve you very well in your next endeavors. So now I'd like to introduce the staff. Before I do that, I just want to say that this year has been very unique in terms of our staff. We did a full 2-day training with every staff member before the program launched. And as a result, Dave and I have been able to enjoy this program in a way that we never have before. So I just want to thank you guys publicly and on camera, just in case you know how much fun it's been for us because of your amazing work. So the lead instructor is Boog from Cornell.
Hi, so so someone can hear. Yeah, so I'm Boog. I've talked to a lot of you on the phone already for the sit down here. Welcome to those who are coming in. There's some seats up here if you need them, or seats back there. Yes, I'm Boog. I've talked to a lot of you already. So my background, I'm going into my 3rd year of Cornell University as an electrical engineering student. And over there, what I do is I manage a small team within a larger team that's trying to build a satellite right now. So we're trying to build a satellite that uses gyroscopes instead of thrusters to move around. And what I've noticed about that is I thought going into this job right now, I thought it'd be kind of similar, managing that team versus managing this team here. And what I've noticed that's different is that from there, I went from managing 30 people working on very specific tasks to managing around 30 people on a lot of very different tasks. So it's been really exciting for me being able to work with a lot of different special projects here and there. That's when you have people who are building very mechanically oriented projects like that solar panel system back there. to very software-oriented projects, like we had a Raspberry Pi camera this year. And the main thing I've noticed, and the main thing that really keeps me going here, is that all the students are so interested, because this is like, for a lot of them, the first time that they're doing things like this. So I can really see and really feel like the energy that's coming off all of them. So it's really exciting for me, and it's like, it's an 8-hour job, but at the end of the day, I feel like I've only spent like maybe 1 or 2 hours, because I feed off the energy of all the students here. So it's been really exciting for me seeing everyone, and it's been really exciting for me, you know, I give them a task or something, and I think to myself, if I gave this a task to anyone at my school right now, they'd be like kind of hesitant about it. They would take a lot of time to do it, and they really wouldn't like it too much. But here I give it to them, and they're so eager. They get to it, they start working, and it's great. It's like, it's really encouraging for me too. So I really enjoyed that. Like, I just like to say to all the students, I'm like very genuinely impressed by all of you. It's been like very genuinely impressive. So thank you all.
Ruben Coakley from Carnegie Mellon.
Hey, I'm Ruben. I'm going into my junior year at Carnegie Mellon. So I study mechanical engineering there, and on the side I'm part of the Formula SAA team, which builds like a Formula race car. And I'm going to be working on aerodynamics for them next year. And I'm also working on an experimental 3D printer. So that's supposed to be able to do like a multi-layer PCB fabrication in one step minus the components. So working at BlueStamp has been really a really cool experience for me. I get to see all these students who really push through all of their problems, and in 6 weeks get done an amazing amount of work. Even in my formula team, I see a lot of kids, and they do some very complicated stuff, but all of these high school students are able to do almost the same level of complexity and get it all done in 6 weeks, and that's really quite amazing. And the way they push through all of the problems in such a short time frame as well. So I really enjoyed my time working here and working with all of the students.
Next is Gita Rajput from NYU Poly. So no one's actually from here, by the way.
Yeah, everybody's from the opposite end of the states. So I'm doing my graduation. I'm doing my master's in computer engineering from NYU Poly. And it's been a long time for me to after finishing my high school, I did my undergrad and then graduation, so it's been like a long time since I've been in touch with the high school period. But after I saw these kids working, it was a great experience. When I look back, I never thought myself I was that patient as these guys are. When they want to do something, they will.
There's a Toyota Sienna that someone's driving, it's blocking another van that needs to get out.
So when I look back, I never saw myself being so patient with a project I was working on. I was like, if it's not working, I would have given up long back. But these guys, they made sure that they got a working project at the end. There have been so many examples. William, though he was a very hard worker, but still he had a problem with his shield. Sam, he was trying to achieve this, and in that try of achieving this much, he would still be able to achieve at least 90% of what he was trying to, because he aimed really far, which probably even we wouldn't have been able to do it. So Gladys, who really made the class very lively, so she was the most talkative of all, and the PM batch was lively mainly because of her. Then Ethan, macho camachos there. That's what he was famous for. Golden everybody made we gave him on his pro mini because initially it was not working. And he gave us all a challenge by making that pro mini work. He's like, look, see, I made it work. Then, and Simon was a gaming guy. So he loves gaming, and he wants to make a game out of the product or the project as well. So he kind of make the work fun. Matthew was a sincere student, so he was quiet. He was more into his work. And then Claire, he was again technically very strong. Probably the type of questions which she came up with were like, they really made us think that, okay, being a high school student, can we think that much? Can we think that beyond a point, beyond a limit? Jorge was happy-go-lucky, so like, okay, fine, I want to have fun and at the program and work as well. Lillian was again the quiet lot. So Chris was like, he used to talk. We thought that he would not be able to finish his project, but he was the first one to finish the project. So it was a little bit surprising for us that he finished his project really fast. So yeah, overall, it was a nice experience. We had fun. This is probably the second last day, but still the last day interacting with all you guys like this. So yeah, I am going to miss this. I'm going to miss the 6 weeks I've spent here. It's been a nice time. That's it. Thank you.
Did I miss anybody? I'm just kidding. It's so easy. So Nathan Siegel is from still in high school, from Bay School. Nathan was a student with us last year. Did some very impressive work, and then we offered for this year, for the first time, a junior TA position. So Nathan applied. We looked at his work from last year, and we thought, do better to help us out than Nathan. So other students in the crowd, keep this in mind. Sometimes it's nice to do cool work and get paid. So.
Yeah, so like Robin said, I applied last year and I got in, and I was sort of a little hesitant at first because but before the whole interview process, I didn't actually know all that much about Louisiana.
Nice.
But like after I did the interview process and after I got in here and started working, my main project was a sort of a tank that can navigate using GPS. So after I did that, I discovered that I was just having tons of fun. I was looking forward to getting up and just going there, and I didn't want to leave. It was even difficult for them to make me take a break every day. Yeah, so I just liked it so much that year that I thought, I just want to sort of help out next year. So I heard about the junior TA position, and I said, sure, I'll do that. So I applied, talked, did that, and it was better than I thought it would be, just because I got to help out with all people's projects, and I learned a ton, and like Robin said, I got paid.
Noted. All right. You good?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So next, for the main part of the night, we're going to have each student come up. They're going to explain their starter project, which was the smaller project that was kind of pre-built in the kit. They'll demo that for you, and then they're going to go into explaining in more detail their main project, which is what they spent most of the time on here. And then you'll get to see a lot of cool demos today, and I hope you enjoy it. First up will be Chris Clifford. You said last. Okay. First up, we had you kind of like mixed around. First up is Gladys.
I don't have a starter project with me.
Okay.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
We'll put you in last time. I don't know if you want to do first.
I'm last. Like I want to.
Hello. Hello. Hi. I'm Gladys. I go to Lowell High School and I'm going to be senior next semester. My starter project was a voice changer, and it gave me a good introduction to soldering and a bunch of different components because I never worked with something with my hands before, so that was incredible. And for my main project, it's a 3D printed LED bracelet that changes color when you shake it. It was created by Marcus Olson. I'll explain the components even though you really can't see it. There's a microcontroller in here that's small, it's called Trinket. There's a pixel strip with RGB LEDs, and those are called neopixels. The strip is attached to Trinket. And then there's the battery, of course. And then there's an accelerometer, and that's also attached to Trinket. The code that I've uploaded to Trinket takes the data from the accelerometer and determines whether there's been a shake or a change in acceleration. And it also determines whether shakes are in the same sequence or whether they're within, I think I made it 300 milliseconds of each other. And if there are around 2 or 3 shakes in the same sequence, the bracelet will turn to a random color. If there are around 4 or 5 shakes, then it'll have an on-off sequence that alternates. That gives it a sparkling effect. As for the model, Marcus designed most of the files for this, including the body and the protection in here. The only thing I changed was this removable part that has trinket and the battery. I just made it have more space because I thought I needed more. But other than that, he made everything. So I'll show you what it looks like. I wanted to make the shakes, each shake register. So I had to revise the code, I think, 10 times. And then if you shake it 5 times. I actually made the sparkling effect become prolonged if you give it at least 1 shake every 2.5 seconds. So yeah, if you want to stop, just stay still for 2.5 seconds and then it'll turn on. There you go. As for challenges, I had a challenge that I wasn't really supposed to have. I had problems making Arduino IDE work with Trinket. Trinket was manufactured to be compatible with Arduino if you follow instructions online, which I did, and it still didn't work. I got about 3 different errors that I had to Google. I also had trouble making the Trinket bootloader active, which means I wasn't able to upload code when I wanted to, and that was a really big problem. To combine, those problems took me about 2 weeks to solve. Besides that, I broke the first LED strip that I worked with, not quite sure how. I might have unplugged the wires in incorrect order. You're supposed to unplug data input, then power, then ground to avoid breaking anything. I wasn't careful about that, so I broke it. I'm not surprised. But I was much more careful with this one, so it's okay. Yeah, I think those were most of my problems. As for my experience, I'm really happy that I got to experience so many things while making this project. Not only just the soldering and the thinking about circuitry, I got to learn about 3D modeling when I was changing this. I got to use a drill and a Dremel for the very first time, even though I nearly broke my bracelet while doing so, but that's another story. And I got to use connectors, which is pretty minor, but it was amazing for me, just everything combined. Yeah, I'm just grateful to Blue Sand. Even though you told us not to compliment the program, I'm just so thankful that you gave us the experience, and thank you so much.
You can compliment it, I just wanted you to
Oh.
more so on your experience.
Okay. I was getting to that. When I was making the project, I decided that coding was the best part for me. I had the funnest part, figuring out what I should do with the data from the accelerometer. And I also liked everything else that I got to do, including 3D modeling. I never really hated anything. So coding is just my favorite part, yeah. And that's it for my speech.
Questions?
I have a
That's
question.
right. Hi.
So, forgive me if I don't understand half of what you said, but I wanted to just so Trinket is the name of that bracelet.
The microcontrollers.
Oh, just the microcontrollers.
Yeah.
And so, in order to figure out how to make that bracelet, you said you went online, and so someone else has made it before, or did you put it all together?
Yeah, Marcus is the person who originally made the bracelet.
Okay.
He actually provided a lot that I needed, including the circuitry and the files, like I said.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So someone else, so you kind of had a menu in a
Pretty
way.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Good to know.
Anything else? I'm gonna go then. Thank you for listening.